Those early days, weeks, the beginning of jump school, not only were they teaching us how to fall, and that sounds so dumb, but I'm telling you, they were striving, I'm sure they didn't attain it, but they were striving to teach us that as we landed, to take up, I can't remember, but maybe like 15% of the shock with the ball of your feet. And then to twist and turn, I could never do it. I guess if you're really good, you could turn your body in such a way that your calf would take some of the shock. I don't think my calves ever took any of the shock. But then as you turned and twisted and fell, your hip, thigh, hip, was to take up some of the shock and then roll on over and let your shoulder, keep your head tucked, let your shoulder and the rest of your upper body take the remainder of the shock and then roll right up and come on your feet. Well, not a bad idea. Particularly if you made a hard landing, it wouldn't be a bad idea at all. One of the very first day, well, in fact, I think the first day that Craig turned us over to the training crew, they took us down to the airport and they had planes out there with gliders hooked up to the back of them. Boy, I'd heard of gliders, but I'd never seen a glider. It looked like a paper airplane to me. Reminded me, in fact, of the box kites we used to make as a kid, when you'd take the wood out of an old packing crate and find the thinnest, lightest wood and make a little frame, cover it with some paper, what we call wax paper, get it balanced just right, put a tail on it, and make a kite out of it. And right on the side of those gliders it had a sign, absolutely no smoking. So we're getting into our glider. I think there was about 16 of us went into that glider. They weren't big gliders. You look up there and there's a pilot sitting up there smoking. That doesn't give you any confidence, I'll tell you right now. They had two gliders hooked to one plane. And it took several planes and several pairs of gliders to get us all in the air. But I'm only aware of the one. You feel a little jerk, you begin to move. First thing you know, you're up, and you're aware that the plane's circling. But you don't know the turf well enough to know exactly where you are, what's going on. But anyway, they got us well up in the air, cut us loose. And before, you could hear the airplane. Boy, now what you heard was air moving. In fact, later when I was on a sailboat, a lot of similarity. It was nice. Hey, man, I like this. And then all of a sudden, the pilot lost control, and the glider is crashing, and my God, we're crashing into a river. I didn't even know the Chattahoochee River was over there. Guess I should have, because Craig had talked about Phoenix City being across the Chattahoochee. I didn't know what a Chattahoochee was. He wasn't out of control at all. He was scaring the hell out of us on purpose. Got down there pretty close. Used the speed he'd picked up in diving to go back up, loop around, and the airstrip was right there close by. And you're now qualified as a glider, not just going to be a paratrooper, you're glider qualified. It's the only time I was ever around a glider and the only time I was ever in one. The interesting thing is that it scared some boys so bad, I don't remember how many, but we had at least 2 or 3, maybe more, quit. They didn't want nothing to do with jump school after that scare, and maybe that's why they were doing it. If you didn't have guts enough to handle that, you're not going to handle jumping out of an airplane. Why waste all that training time? Also, in those first few days, in addition to the things I've mentioned, like learning to tie things down, we had to learn how to pack our own chute. And they had us do that several times, demonstrated and had us practice various parts of it. And you ended up packing the chute that you were going to jump, your first jump. It's the only time I ever packed a chute. Don't know the theory there. Might be that it is back in the idea that if you were in combat and you jumped, maybe you could salvage that chute and catch a plane ride somewhere else and reuse the chute. I don't know. Never packed a chute again. But it was interesting. And those chutes are kind of pretty. And they're certainly longer all strung out there on a packing table than you'd ever think. Later, I watched these modern chutes that these boys fly now, and they can land on a dime. I watched them repack their chute in just seconds. It's an entirely different looking chute. Not only a different flying chute, it's just different chute to pack. At least the way they packed it, just stick it back in the bag and it was done. I guess it was done. Now they maybe took them somewhere else or repacked them.